been a while since I've done laundry now. I got no underwear. It's been a
Been a while.
while. Yeah,
Man.
dude, Jack and I were, I sang that the other day because, like, just had buckets and buckets of laundry to do. It's like the easiest thing to just not do is
Yeah.
laundry
Yeah.
until you're down to the last pair of underwear, and then you're like, well, fuck, there's no choice now. But we knew a guy. Remember, you know what I'm about to say?
I don't know what you're about to say.
We knew a guy. Remember, we lived with a gentleman who, when he was out of underwear, instead of doing laundry, he would just stop by a store and buy more. Remember that?
Dude, I don't remember that. I actually have no idea who the fuck you're talking about.
I'm talking about the infamous dude.
Dude, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about.
Not the editor that lived with us, the other guy.
I mean, oh, I get during that time. Okay. Okay.
Not well, no, not Grant.
Okay.
That's just like such a him thing to do too.
Oh god. I didn't expect
when
this.
when he said that, I like when he told me that. Dude, that has to be, to this day, that's the laziest thing I've ever heard. To just
It's pretty lazy.
buy more underwear instead of, and that's the most money wasting thing too.
That's pretty lazy.
Like
that's outlandish.
Just burning money.
somehow it feels like I was not there when this was said. I have no recollection. Like when you said this to me, that's why I was like,
that?
Dude, I could not remember it. And so that's why I didn't know who to place it, because I could have seen it coming from at least two of those guys. You know, the two that we were with like 30 years. I was like, I couldn't remember being it. I could remember, I was like, it couldn't be either of those two guys. You know, so I could not have known.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
That's the laziest thing I've ever heard. But yeah, dude, and then Jack and I were playing video games and just like for an hour just riffing, probably like a good 30 minutes to an hour, just coming up with lyrics to that song. Ridiculous lyrics. Dude, we came up with quite a story, dude.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you know, it just kind of spun off of the whole laundry thing, and then it just became about a guy who's just a complete loser and just doesn't have his life together. But it's like the easiest song to riff off
right.
of. Like, it's the catchiest
you could
song.
Say anything off of that.
Been a While by Stained. Yeah, like you could just go on forever. I mean, that's like one of the best melodies ever. You could just forever just come up with new shit.
Yeah.
Been a while since Film Tangents did an episode on air.
Right.
It's been a while. 'Cause we got jobs that take up our time, man. It's been a while.
That is the truth. That is the truth, everybody. Gotta be patient with us, guys.
Yeah. But we're back, everybody. Like the video, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notified of all the new episodes. Go check us out on Apple Podcasts as well. At Film Tangents. Thank you so much. Edward, what you want to?
Let me test the audience with a comment. I know that last week I told you guys. I think I told you guys to like comment a banana. I might have said that before. I might have said that like on a different episode.
I think it was last week.
Really?
Yeah.
But for the next episode, or rather for this episode, I'm tripping. For this episode, folks, comment your favorite Adam Sandler movie.
That's a good one. What's your favorite Adam Sandler movie, Edward? And when we say Adam Sandler movie, are we talking about any movie with Adam Sandler in it, or Happy Madison?
Not any movie with Adam Sandler in it. An Adam Sandler movie, because then you know.
So Uncut Gems,
exactly, disqualified. Punch Drunk Love is also disqualified. Like any of those.
Really?
Movies, yes, because that's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and it's funny because. True. And I say that with a lot of like authority, just because Adam Sandler himself said that. Because I think he had. I don't know if you know about this, but I think it's like Variety or something. One of those places, one of those like one of those like acting Hollywood things. they do this thing called actors on actors. And I think Adam Sandler did it with somebody else, Brad Pitt or something. I don't know. And the person he was doing it with, they told him, they're like, my favorite movie of yours is Punch Drunk Love, and he was like very
Mm.
happy that he mentioned it, but he was like, that's an Adam Sandler. He was like, that's a, he was like, that's all Paul Thomas Anderson. It's his movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Like I want it to be.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I want it to be just like an actual, just like Adam Sandler movie. So Waterboy, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, any of
Big
those
Daddy,
films, Big Daddy, 51 First Dates, The Wedding Singer, any of those.
Anger Management.
Anger Management. I still haven't seen. What's the name of that? The Wedding Singer, but
I have not seen that.
I would say that of all of his films, I think that at this second I would say Billy Madison.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I love Billy Madison. It's so childish.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You've been frozen for me for a while, by the way.
Have I? I'm not moving?
Yeah, you have like this, like you've been frozen on this like very kind of like disappointed expression.
Well, Edward, that's because I'm disappointed in the direction my life has gone now. Not at all, actually.
I hope that changes. Not your disappointment in your life, which is not true, but the fact that you're frozen.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I need a fucking tan, man. Holy shit. It's getting springtime now. I gotta fucking I go outside a good bit. Dude. I go outside a good bit. I need to just like actually get like, lay out, probably get a good tan going, dude. I'm still kind of pale.
Yeah.
Okay, so Adam Sandler movies. Well, first of all, I want to say I like this thing you've been doing with these random kind of topics to like topic of the week, put it in the comments. I think we should keep that rolling.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
Yeah. How about we do it like the person whose week it is comes up with it, maybe?
It's like I've cheated you. It's like I did it last week and this week.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'll now do it next week too.
Yeah. Kind of like how you got 2 movies in a row somehow with Dune 2 and then Incendies. How'd you pull that off?
I don't know, dude.
I don't remember.
I don't think I didn't pull that off.
Oh, you did a double feature.
I did a double feature, yeah.
So
And it wasn't even
split it up.
It wasn't even me corrupting the whole thing, because you remember that I told you, I was like, we don't have to do Incendies. You're like, no, let's do Incendies. And I was like, oh, that's me back to back, with a Denis Villeneuve double feature. And I think for me now, I'm done with Denis. I've seen all his movies now. And with the movie from last week, I've seen all Tarantino's movies.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, Adam Sandler. Yeah, what do you like about Billy Madison so much?
It's just
how idiotic it is.
Exactly. It's just that it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's a really short movie. It's like just like an hour and 25 minutes, and it's the most ridiculous movie. It's such a ridiculous premise. It's like, oh, Billy Madison spent all his life, because he's just a rich boy, like.
Yeah,
partying and having fun, and his best friends are fucking what is it? Not Tom McDonald. Shit. Why am I forgetting about this? Billy Madison. I'm looking the movie up. It's like I love this man, and I'm forgetting his name. Norm Macdonald, not Tom McDonald.
Oh,
like his best friends are Norm Macdonald and Josh Musto, like like these other comedians, and they all they do is goof off and fuck around. Which I also love the Norm Macdonald movie. I think it's like Dirty Laundry, Garbage, something like that.
Dirty Work.
Yes.
I just watched that. Like, did I tell you I watched that a few months ago?
No, I don't think so. I think we might have. I don't know if we talked about it. It's pretty good. I love that movie.
Revenge for Hire business.
Yeah.
That's I always liked it. I actually came up with like a horror book series about a revenge for hire business.
I'm pretty sure that I recall that. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
But
it's one of my many planned series. But anyway.
No, I remember just loving that movie, and then just loving Norm in this movie, and his relationship with Adam Sandler, and just the premise of being like, oh, he has to do all the grades again.
Yeah.
And and like hang out with all these little kids, and then he has to get to high school. I don't know. And then they do the whole at the end of the movie, they do that whole thing with like you have to win this competition, this like trivia thing, and
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Buscemi's like randomly in the movie.
Oh yeah,
What's his
yeah.
name?
Like a shoot, like he's gonna
He's
shoot
out,
up,
yeah, he's
like
out.
he has a kill
He has a
list,
kill
right?
list. Yeah, he's like out on a vendetta
I
against like
remember
anybody
that.
who
Yeah.
wronged him. And then what's his
Anyone who
name?
was mean to him in school.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Bradley Whitford. So then he's the villain. I love that guy as the villain in that movie because he's just like this corporate stooge who's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
deserve everything. I don't know, something
yeah.
about that movie. I just love that movie. Technically, I've seen the first Adam Sandler movie that I actually ever saw. I believe that it was Happy Gilmore. So I also do have like love for that movie, but I
Yeah.
most of the time, if you ask me like which one would you rather watch, Billy Madison.
Yeah. Okay. It also has one of the best quotes of all time that I'm going to read right now. What you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no
Yes.
point in your rambling, incoherent response
Yeah,
were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
that's right.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
That's right.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That's right. Oh,
And then Billy's
dude, somehow
response.
you unfroze
Okay,
just now. You're back just now.
Great. And the Billy's response too is fantastic, where he's like, "Okay, well, a simple wrong would have been fine."
I also love
Yeah.
like that family, that like family, that like family of like bullies or something, where they just it's just this random cutaway of them going like on vacation and then driving off a cliff. Yeah.
I don't remember that part. Yeah, for me, I might have to go with Happy Gilmore. I don't know though. Yeah, it's tough. It's between those two. I feel like. No, actually, hang on a second. I got to go with Anger Management. Anger Management's my favorite Adam Sandler movie. Anger Management's the best.
Yeah, Anger Management.
Jack
Jack
Nicholson.
Nicholson. Yeah.
Jack Nicholson makes that movie. He is
He does.
phenomenal
He
in
does
that
make
movie.
that movie. That movie's on his shoulders.
Dude, that character is so fucking funny. Like, dude, when I still laugh my ass off, because the whole premise is like Adam Sandler is, and he's like a normal guy in that movie. He's not like
Yeah.
a
No,
like,
he's just
like
a
a
normal,
like a dumb.
just a normal guy, 100%.
Yeah, they don't do the whole like Waterboy thing in that movie, or Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, insert whatever. He's just like a normal dude in that movie. Who gets like pushed around, so it's this idea of like, do you have some like hidden anger somewhere under there? And then he has like, Jack Nicholson he's like on probation, Adam Sandler's character, and Jack Nicholson's character is like his anger management counselor or whatever, and he moves in with him. And like the scene, dude, their first morning together, where Adam Sandler like makes him eggs and then gives them to Jack Nicholson, and Jack Nicholson like looks at the eggs with this just like pissed off face with those glasses.
Yeah.
He's got like glasses on, his eyes are huge, and then he just hurls the plate at the wall.
Yep.
I said over easy. And he's supposed to be the guy who's like helping Adam Sandler with his quote unquote anger management. And it's like, dude, that I still to this day just wheeze at that scene.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking funny.
I watched that movie because of you, because you were like we have to watch this movie, because until then
It's so funny.
Until then, I had only seen like the first 15 minutes of that movie, if that. Like,
Yeah.
I had seen like that. I had seen like the whole like traumatic scene of him as a kid when they pants him and stuff like that. I remember that. I had like a clear memory of that. But
Yeah.
no, you introduced me to that movie. I had a blast watching that movie.
So fun.
And then that, and also the singing. What is it? What's the song?
I feel pretty, so
yeah.
pretty. Yeah. When he
how
makes them sing that on the highway, they're like
Yeah.
in a traffic jam.
Yeah.
And then like between each line of the song, someone speeds by, is like, move your fucking ass, dipshit. It's so good. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a stupid movie.
It
It's
is a
like
stupid
almost as stupid as like the other ones, but that one has something more special in it because they got away from the formula. And I don't think that one's even a Happy Madison production. I could be wrong, but I don't
I
think
don't
it is.
know, but it truly I feel like it belongs. It goes underneath like this Adam Sandler like
Yeah.
category that we have going, but I don't know whether or not it is.
Oh, it is a Happy Madison
Okay, cool.
production. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's great because they get away from that formula, because that formula gets like, I don't know, because I saw Waterboy for the first time like a few years ago, and I was just like, I don't like Waterboy.
I don't like Waterboy either.
It annoyed me
I don't like Waterboy
because it's the same thing. It's the same thing as Happy Gilmore.
It's the same thing as Happy Gilmore.
It's just like, oh my god. And Billy Madison's the same thing as Happy Gilmore, but they at least do something. Which came first? I think it was Happy Gilmore that came first. I think
Happy Gilmore did come first, and Happy Gilmore has those zingers, of like, it's like,
you eat pieces of shit for breakfast. Yeah, we were thinking of the same one.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, dude, Jack and I were listening to I think it was Jesus Walks by Kanye in the car the other day.
Nice, dude.
I think it's that song where Kanye quotes that scene.
Maybe, I don't remember, but I believe it probably is. Song. It probably is.
I think it's that song. Or it might be it might be a song off. No, it's not Through the Wire. It's either Jesus Walks or it's a song off of Late Registration. I can't remember. Someone put that in the comments. But yeah, I was like, oh shit. I was like Leonardo DiCaprio in that pointing gif where I was just like, that's the fucking line.
Yeah.
Which I think I first watched that movie with Jack, actually, who we need to get on the podcast at some point. Yeah, we watched it when we were like 13 or something. Thought it was the funniest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
But I first watched Anger Management when I was like maybe 12, and I thought that was like when you're 12, that's like the funniest. That was like the funniest movie I've ever seen at that point. Yeah.
Let me actually look this up. Like which came first, Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore? Because Billy Madison came out. Happy Gilmore came out in '96, and then Happy Gilmore came out in '96. Billy Madison came out in '95. So Billy Madison came first.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That's the progenitor. The first.
Yeah, because those two movies, they're the exact same kind of structure, but they're different enough. You know what I mean? Where like they're kind of completely different in as well, where it's like Happy Gilmore is, he's got to win like this whole sports, so golf competition, and then Billy Madison, he's got to get through, these grades or whatever. I mean, it's the same movie, I guess, but
I have to rewatch 50 First Dates though, because
it's been a while since I've seen that.
I need to rewatch
that.
It's been a while. Yeah. Since I bought new underwear.
Yeah. Since I bought new underwear. It's been a while and it's been even longer since I've washed some.
Living in squalor, dude.
Let me ask you self-imposed squalor that was. If he's listening, I think we love you. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
But I will not lie that if he's listening, that is the laziest fucking shit I've ever heard, and I hope you're not doing that anymore.
It truly is. It truly is. And if you're listening, we do love you, man. Give me a call. We'll square it out.
Okay, let me ask you this, dude. What's your least favorite Adam Sandler movie? What's one that just grinds your gears?
What is it? Little Nicky.
I don't know. I've never seen that one.
You know
Little
that
Nicky.
One? Yeah, look that up. Look that shit up, and then look that up, and then immediately, once you lay eyes upon that movie,
oh my god,
you will know.
Oh,
you will know.
Oh yeah, I've seen this picture with him with the Oh, he's the devil, right?
He's like the devil's son.
I've heard of this. Yeah. I have heard of this. This looks horrendous.
Dude, it's horrendous. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. Like I don't know what else to say. I mean, it has Tarantino's in here as the deacon, it says, but
there he is.
It's the same like BS that all the other movies do. Hour and a half of just him acting like a complete awful like lunatic, just making insanely just like off-putting racial expressions walking like just like
Facial expressions, you mean?
yeah, and then forgive me if I said anything else, but and then just like kind of like stomping around, like walking in a funny way, dude. I cannot stand that movie. I cannot stand
His,
that movie.
these screenshots, like he's doing this thing with his mouth the whole time, where it's like his mouth is like off to the
Yeah,
side.
it's like he had a stroke or something. It's like what like what are you doing? It's an off-putting movie. It's like one of those movies that is like dated horribly.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's funny because you asked me and I said it immediately. I was like, Little
yeah,
Nicky,
that was quick.
Little Nicky.
2000. Oh, so it wasn't. It was pretty long ago.
Yeah,
Oh, Laura Herring's in this.
yeah, no, Little Nicky's the movie. Laura Herring, yeah, Patricia Arquette's in that movie too. Um, Yeah, dude, that's the movie. That's the one. I don't like Waterboy either, but Lil Nicky takes it. There's movies that he has that people like have like a thing for, like Click. I know that you like Click. I don't like Click at all, man.
I actually like
Um,
Click.
yeah, I know that you like Click. I don't like Click at all. I don't like Grown Ups. I've seen Grown Ups 1 and 2. I don't like either of them. I don't like That's My Boy with Adam with what's his name? The other guy that kind of looks like him from that show. SNL. He was from SNL. Um, Adam Sandberg. Yeah, from
Andy Sandberg.
Andy Sandberg. Yeah, from The Lonely Island. That guy.
They have a movie
Um,
together.
yeah, it's called That's My Boy. Another just off-putting, horrendous movie.
I haven't seen that one.
He has a lot of stinkers, man, and there's movies of his I just haven't seen. Like basically any movie that he's made post like 2010, post 2011, I haven't seen. I haven't seen any of the movies with what's her face, Jennifer Aniston. I've not seen Pixels. I've not seen
Oh,
any
that looks
any
bad.
any of those. I haven't seen any of those. I gave up on the man. I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, I mean,
But one that
you
I
know what I did? My
go
sisters
ahead.
and I around October last year, we did watch a little bit of Hubie Halloween. That was pretty fun. That was pretty funny. It's like you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
It's like stupid.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I don't know. I like accumulated a lot of like anger and like not anger, but just like this. I don't know, just like dissolution and irritation towards his movies, like after the fact. But I do
Because he just
like
started pumping them out like
he did. It was just once a
hamburgers.
year, one of these movies. I do like though. Don't mess with the Zohan. I like that movie.
I haven't seen that. I feel like you've seen more of these than I have.
I've seen it. I've seen two. I've seen two.
I saw that one that went the Netflix original. Um him and David Spade. They fake their deaths. What's that movie? Adam Sandler faking death movie. The Do Over.
The
That was
do-over.
bad.
Mm.
9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not interested. Because the thing is that I've seen too many of these movies, like you said, and then I've also seen movies just from like the Happy Gilmore like studio, like just adjacent. Like I've seen, David Spade movies. I've seen a
Ugh.
bunch of what's the other guy? Um,
Oh yeah.
Rob
Um,
Rob
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 Schneider.
Schneider. I've seen a
Yeah.
ton of Rob Schneider movies. Like it's it's awful. I've seen way too many of these things.
Yeah, David Spade. I saw The Wrong Missy with that one, that
Oh, dude,
David
I
Spade
saw that. That's
movie.
one of my infamous like half a star movies on
Really? You gave
Letterboxd.
that? I didn't think that was that bad
I
for like
gave
for what it is,
dude,
for a Happy
I gave the
Madison.
movie a half a star. I gave the movie a half a star.
Wow. Wow,
I
wow.
couldn't stand it. It was horrendous.
I thought that one was all right actually for a Happy Madison movie.
Yeah. Which is
Um
funny that you're unlocking these memories for me that I've seen these movies, and I am actively right now going on Letterboxd just to give all of them horrible scores. Just actively going on Letterboxd. It's like I've seen these. These deserve to be put down.
you mentioned Grown Ups because I have good memories of the first Grown Ups movie because one of my good friends, Anthony, friend of the show,
Yes.
shout out Anthony if you're listening, love you, buddy. He his family, like we when we were kids, like his family, like we would have sleepovers, rent movies and stuff, and we rented Grown Ups, and like when you're a kid, it's like whatever, it's funny.
Mhm.
But yeah, like those are bad movies,
Those are
dude.
bad
Like
movies, man.
Grown Ups 1 and 2. I saw 2 as well. I mean, those are bad. I mean, if anyone actually likes those, I would love to hear any kind of
I think those are those kind of movies where, because sometimes people use the term like guilty pleasure with movies, like in a way that I feel like doesn't really fit. I feel like
yeah.
those would be actual guilty pleasures.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because people will say, like, guilty pleasure, but it's like, well, if you like why is it guilty? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I guess I get what people are saying though.
yeah,
Like my guilty pleasure movie is probably Godzilla Final Wars. You know, I recognize that it's like a fucking jumbled like what the hell, but I actually have a lot of appreciation for that movie, like for
hmm
what it is,
hmm
and just the creativity there. So yeah, no, I do believe in guilty pleasure movies, but yeah, like that one for sure.
yeah.
Um,
But what
should only be a guilty pleasure movie, I
did
think.
you answer did you answer that though? Like, what is your like least favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, probably. I don't think it's Grown Ups because I have good memories with Grown Ups, and I don't know. Like on one hand, yeah, Grown Ups is obnoxious because all it
Yeah.
is, even as a kid, I was like, "There's really no plot here."
No, it's just an
All it
excuse for
is
all those
like,
guys to go on vacation.
yeah, just hang
Just
out,
hang out.
and then at the in the third act, there's like a plot where
Yeah.
they face off against the and yeah, that movie's really mean spirited too, because they face off. It's like their high school basketball team beat this other team,
hmm
and now they've grown up, right?
hmm
And they're all friends. They all have like hot wives,
They
and it's
are. They
like,
do.
oh,
They do. They all.
it's
They
like,
all
oh,
do.
first of all, it's like, oh wow, you're, and they're all wealthy too, and
hmm
it's like, oh, oh wow, you guys are so cool. It's just
hmm
like, it already, it's kind of obnoxious where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we won this basketball game, this tournament, and then we grew up and we got hot wives
Yeah.
and wealth, and it's just like, all
Yeah.
right, kind of, there's
Cut
kind of
out.
like a fuck you
Yeah.
there where it's like, shut up. Um, but then they take it even a step further in like the third act where they meet up again. They meet again with those the team that they beat, and those guys are all like crusty, and their wives are portrayed as crusty, and their kids
Yeah,
are
I
portrayed as
remember that. I
crusty and
remember
like
that.
losers. One of them has a lazy eye, and it's like this is just
Yeah.
so mean, like, and I know that at the end of the movie, I remember they have like another basketball game, and Adam Sandler's side like loses,
hmm
and they're kind of like, well, just wasn't our night to win, I guess,
Yeah.
and it's just like, this is still mean.
It is.
This is very mean spirited. But on the other hand, yeah, like I don't know. I don't think that's the worst one.
No? Have you seen
What's
like one that you're like that was shit?
I don't know. I haven't seen ones that are like egregious. Like I haven't seen Jack and Jill. I haven't seen that Little Nicky one. Um,
Yeah, I haven't seen Jack and
have you?
Jill yet.
You haven't seen Jack and Jill? That's
Uh-uh.
like infamous
That
as
is
like the
infamous.
worst.
Yeah, that is
That's like one of the
infamous.
worst movies of all time,
I've seen like
according to
comedic
some
reviews
critics.
about that movie. Like I've seen enough of that movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, isn't and that one is like there was a way bigger budget than they were supposed to have,
Yeah, because that
right?
whole
Because
movie is Adam Sandler, and then Adam Sandler acting as his own sister Jill, and then everybody else in the movie is his friends. Everybody else is just David Spade, Rob Schneider, and Kevin James, and then just some kids, an actress that plays his wife. I don't remember her name, and then Al Pacino's in the movie. But the
right,
movie is like budget is like $100 million, and it's like
yeah,
where did this money go? Because then the Red Letter Media guys they broke it down. They were the ones who broke it down. They were the ones who kind of outed Adam Sandler for this. Because they broke it down. They broke down how everything went down, all the sponsors of the movie. The movie itself has a bunch of ads in the movie for Subway, for Dunkin' Donuts, for a bunch of different places. So
oh
it's like
god,
this movie has ads in it, and somehow it still cost a humongous amount of money, even though there's no set pieces. It's just Adam Sandler and his friends hanging out.
right,
So
right.
it's quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me see. Let me look at my letterbox and see if I can catch a. Let me see.
like a
Sort
stinker.
sort by rating. Your rating lowest first. Let me see. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. Where are you? I don't know. I'm trying to. I mean,
You
I'm
love
tempted
all
to
those. You
say.
love all the Adam Sandler movies, don't you?
Right.
I
Right.
knew it. I knew it. I knew you were an Adam
I
Sandler
mean,
fanboy.
yeah. Right. Right. I mean, I don't know. I'm tempted to say Waterboy. I just felt very like eye roll
Yeah,
when I watched Waterboy. Just kind of like, it's like here we go again with this shit. It's just
yeah.
like not as funny as as there is a scene in Waterboy that's kind of funny where I don't know, he's kind of like being a bitch on the football field, and then someone kind of reawakens
Yeah,
a
because
memory of
that's the
him
thing.
being
Yeah,
bullied,
they just have to
and
get
then
him. They have to get
he
him
goes like,
angry.
yeah, and then he
Yeah.
goes like, that part's kind of funny.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe Waterboy.
You're sticking to
Because
Waterboy.
again, I've managed to avoid like those really bad ones.
Yeah.
I have seen new the one with where he's with Jennifer Aniston. I knew he's
Good friends.
with her in a few of them, but um, what was it? The
Second
not that
Chance or something like that. I don't
no,
remember.
it's the one where he has a fake family, creates a fake family with Jennifer Aniston.
It is. I know the one you're talking about. What is the name of
What's
that
that?
movie?
What is that called?
Just
I
go with
could,
it.
I
Is that's the one, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
just go
just
with
go
it.
with it.
Adam Sandler fake family. Yeah, just
Just
go
go with
with
it.
it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one though. I have not seen
That
that.
one's that one's pretty bad, I guess. But it's not terror. Like it's not like it's not like climb the walls bad. Like, oh my god, I need this movie to fucking end now,
Yeah,
right now. I wouldn't be dying to watch it.
yeah,
I don't know. I got it.
dude.
Yeah. I don't know.
On my letterbox, it says here that I've seen 22 Adam Sandler movies.
How do you filter that?
No, I just looked at him. Like if you go on, like if you click on his name as the actor in one of the movies, he'll show you all his shit. And then under his picture, which his picture looks horrendous. His picture looks like he woke up and they and they like photographed him. And under his picture, it'll tell you how many of the movies of his you've seen. Like I've seen 23% of his filmography because he's made 94 movies and I've seen 22.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
God, I knew
folks,
it would happen, dude. I knew this was gonna happen because we were having all these technical issues. You kept freezing up. I was like, this is not gonna go well.
Yeah. This is what they call guerrilla style podcasting, probably.
Yeah. Alas, we'll do this. I'll upload the audio for you.
Yeah, it sounds good. Thanks, Edward. That's mighty Christian of you,
Yeah, right?
sir. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of being indecisive. I guess I'll just say Waterboy for my least favorite Adam Sandler movie that I've seen.
Yeah.
Just didn't like it. I didn't like Big Daddy either. Is that what it's called? Big Daddy?
The one with like Cole and Dylan Sprouse. Yeah.
Yeah. That one sucks.
I like Big Daddy a little bit. I like Big Daddy a little bit. Like I think I have it like a 5 or a 4. Like I don't think it's like a horrible movie. Anytime that it's on TV, I'll just keep watching it. I'll just be like, "Oh, Big Daddy's on
Yeah.
TV," but that's my relationship to that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we got our favorite Adam Sandler movies in there, man.
Yeah.
Dude, what you got for topics, man? What you want to go into? Is there anything you got a burning desire to speak on this week, Edward?
Let me see. I have some stuff written down because I've just like amassing. Oh, dude, there's something that I did wanted to add. That I wanted to talk about. There's something that I've actually had a burning desire to talk about. It's a complaint, actually, which is the evolution of ads. Specifically, I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if you, the listener, have noticed this. But ads have changed. And what I mean by that is that before, when I used to go on YouTube, right, I would click on a video, and if I clicked on the video would say something along the lines of, sometimes, depending on the length of the video, depending on what it was, it would be like, oh, in 5 seconds you can skip this ad.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore, dude. It's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this. Like anytime that I'm watching a YouTube video now, it's 2 ads. Every single time. It's never just one ad anymore. Like it's
And they're
two.
like 15 seconds.
No, dude,
Yeah.
it's not even that anymore. It's like you start watching the video and it'll be like on 5 seconds you can skip. And then you skip and it's just another ad. Like you
Yeah.
just skip to another. Have you not noticed this? It was not like this before.
Yeah, I think probably on my phone. I have ad blocker on my laptop
Yeah.
because I know that like YouTube made us kind of delete that, but I was able to kind of get it back, get it going again.
No, I have like my ad blocker on my computer has always been going. Like it's never been an issue, but it's on my phone. Whenever I'm on my phone or whenever I'm watching YouTube on the television, like whenever either of those two things are happening, it's just riddled with ads. There's no way to get around it. And even when
Yeah.
you think, they fucking trick you because even when you think like, oh, I'm just gonna have to watch this 5 second ad, it's like, oh, after that one you have to watch a 15 second one, and it's like, what in the heck, man? I've just had this. Every time that these things happen, I just think about this episode of South Park where there's like a little girl
Yeah.
that's like an ad, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just about how like ads are just like evolving,
yeah.
and they really are, man. They are evolving. It used to be, I mean, cut back 4 years ago, and anywhere that you went, as long as you had an ad block on, the ads were blocked. And now everywhere that you go, they know that you have an ad block, and they say take off your ad block or you cannot see this website. There are the holy lands like Rotten Tomatoes, so just goes like, please do it, but if you want to continue without it, go ahead.
Yeah.
You click, I'm going to continue without it, without supporting you guys. And it's the same thing on Letterboxd. Although Letterboxd, it's so obnoxious because every other page that you open, they ask you again and again and again and again. But ads are out of control, man. I mean, this is really just like me ranting, but ads are out of control. I can't. I mean, my God. And now, dude, everywhere. Like, oh, if you have Netflix and you're paying $10 a month, you have ads. If you don't want to have ads, pay us $15. If you have Amazon Prime, you have ads. If you don't want to have ads, pay us $20. HBO, you have ads. If you don't want to have ads, pay $20. Fucking Hulu, you have ads. If you don't have ads, pay $15. It's like, what in the fuck? I mean, it's funny because I read a post. It's one of those like silly like posts. It's like, oh, we ran away from television because of ads. Now they're here, and it's like, now they are here. We lived for like 10 years in a world where it's like you have Netflix, no ads, no nothing. And it all fucking started, dude. It's with these big companies, with all these like big streaming companies, it always starts with like one of them. Whenever one of them does it and the other ones see that the profit margins increased and that the subscriber base did not decrease, it's like, well, then this is no brainer, And it all started with fucking Hulu. Hulu was the one. Hulu was the first one. Disney, those fucking bureaucrats, they were the first ones.
Yeah.
They were the first ones. They were just like, this has ads now, And if you don't want to pay for ads, pay more money. And everybody saw, oh, the fucking profit margins, increase. They're making more money because they're making money from subscribers and they're making money from ad revenue. We all have to do this. And then Netflix did it, Prime did it, HBO did it, and all of them send you this fucking like egregious email, just being like, oh, you said that in 2 weeks what you're paying for. We'll have ads now, and if you don't want to pay for ads, you have to pay us $5 more, bro.
I know. No, dude, corporations aren't fucking around anymore, man. Like we thought they weren't fucking around 10 years ago, but they really aren't fucking around anymore. Like they want every
penny.
dollar,
Yeah,
every cent, every penny, dude, out of our pockets.
Yeah, it's like they realized that it's like, oh, why are we cutting our own revenue in half? Let's get ads back in here. It's ridiculous, man. And these companies, again, Disney, Hulu, HBO, all of these fucking places, they have the audacity of not only doing that, but then not paying the people who make their shit for them any money. Anybody who makes movies, who's like acting or making these movies are making no money. And even the ones that are making money, they're making no fucking royalties out of this. It's ridiculous how this shit changed, man. This industry is fucked, bro. Like, all of these people making movies, unless it says it specifically in their contract, like, hey, you're gonna have to pay me royalties. They're getting no fucking royalties. Nobody's making money off of this shit. All these people are basically living project to project. All these actors, yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man.
yeah. I mean, yeah, like I mean, I got pissed off when I saw that Amazon Prime was doing that. When they're like, "Oh, just so you know, there's going to be ads now," and I'm
Yeah,
like, "Well, what the fuck? Like, I pay for this. I mean,
exactly. It's like I'm already paying for this.
I know." And then they have like all these new add-ons too, like Amazon Prime. They're like, "Oh yeah, you can get this movie with Amazon Prime, but there's an add-on with it that has ads.
Exactly.
If you don't want ads, you got to buy the add-on." And it's like,
Exactly.
holy shit, dude. Um,
Yeah, man. I
but
can't.
yeah,
I can't. I can't. I've just reached like a point of just like, again, all this stuff, has just been adding up and adding up and adding up. And with YouTube for me, that was what broke the camel's back. Like the
yeah,
YouTube shit, when I realized that it's like, oh, when I skip an ad, there's another ad. Whenever you
yeah,
finish watching a YouTube video, when you get to the end of the video, there's an ad waiting for you. Like anytime that I finish watching a YouTube video, there's another ad. It's like, why is there a fucking ad at the end of the video? What in the hell is going on? Dude, I mean, oh man.
Well, dude, you go to the gas station now, man. I try to fill up my fucking car. There's ads on the damn pump.
Yeah, exactly,
Can I
man. You st-
listen
you
to
go you
traffic?
you fucking
Can
go
I
to the
listen
gas
to
station.
traffic?
Yeah, and they have ads at the fucking gas station everywhere. It's just selling you something. All of this being said, dear listener, all of this being said, if there is an ad at the beginning, middle, or end of this video, please watch the ads. We'll get paid.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's unreal, dude. And I'll tell you what, man, because I work in advertising, and I
Yeah.
can't really talk about like what we do
You're
as a
the
company.
problem, dude. You're the
Well,
problem.
hey, listen, man, I don't want to be working. I don't want to work at all, but I have to. And
You're
and
the
like
problem, man.
I
You're the
know, man.
problem. And you know what, bro? I quit this podcast. I
Well,
quit
well,
this podcast. You're on your own.
well. So here's the scary thing, too, man. So I got for my job, I did a Google Ads certification, and what when I'm a lot of the material too has to do with AI. So, dude, AI is gonna really like the South Park episode. Honestly, is actually kind of coming true. I mean, um, with AI coming in, it knows what we're looking for, what we like. It's tailoring ads to specific people. Um, you know, anytime you go to a freaking site, it has this pop up that's like, "Oh, do you want to accept these, cookies, and you want to accept us collecting all your fucking data so that we can give it to the AI, and the AI can show you specific ads that are tailored to you, so we can sell you more shit." Um, it's crazy, man. It's unreal. It's I don't know, man. But there's like a war. Are you still there, by the way? Your camera's off and you're muted. Did your house start burning down, Edward?
All right, dude. I'm back. I'm not gonna quit anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking
Yeah, I'm
leaving.
not fucking leaving. But
I was trying to live. I was trying to live that bit of me quitting the show.
oh, I gotcha. Um, I was like, did your something catch on fire or something? But yeah, there's like a weird dude, and I'm telling you, man. Like, I know we don't get political on this show, but like Democrats and Republicans, like we got to get on. People got to get on the same fucking page about this.
Mhm.
Like, there's a fucking war between corporations and
And the people.
civilians.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's
100%.
it's 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 twofold. It's like whether it's treating us as consumers or employees. There's a fucking war. There's a war on our wallets, on our money, and there's a war on our time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
dude, we're losing, man. Like the consumer is losing. And the solution is not, oh, just get rich, start making passive income. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's another thing, dude. These stupid ads that come up like, oh, with inflation and everything, you need to be making $100,000 now. And it's like, dude.
Shut the hell up. Yeah, no, you're right about that, man.
Up. Like, okay, so I agree. People should be making $100,000 from their fucking jobs, not from, not everybody, like, yeah. People like us who are, like technologically literate, we could go and like make passive income, and start some kind of business or whatever. I don't want to personally. I don't want to start a fucking business. I'm trying to become an author. Like, I don't want to become a fucking business owner right now.
Right.
And by the way, I think business owners, like small business owners, don't even make that much money in a lot of cases anyway. Right. It's like you can't just make that the fucking solution. That, oh, people need to, you can't ask people, just the whole population, to bootstrap it. Like, we need fucking garbage men. We need people flipping burgers. Like, but they gotta make a fucking living.
Right.
They gotta pay the bills. But where do they think this is going, man?
Right.
With real estate prices hiking up, man, and like, people not being able to make rent and having to work 60-hour work weeks in the warehouse, sometimes more, just to fucking put food on the table. It's like, dude, we have finite money to buy all your shit, and we have finite time to give to you, to pay for the shit that you want us to fucking buy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's oh god, it's unreal. And I've said this before on the show. I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but it is like
slavery with extra steps.
Well, it's the free, a free market, like, because that's the problem, is the Republicans just shout all the time, free markets, and it's like, look, free markets and capitalism, it's like a fucking hockey game,
right?
Okay, it's like a hockey game where on one team you have team corporation, and on the other team you have team employee / consumer / civilian. We'll call it team civilian. And there needs to be a fucking referee. The referee's the government. And it's like, the game is so fucking rigged at this point.
It's time to play the game.
The game is so rigged.
He just brushed right past.
I gotta get this point out. We'll never get out. We'll never stay on topic. The game is rigged at this point toward team corporation. They're hitting us with low blows, dude. They're fucking, the ref's turning away when team civilian scores a goal. Oh, I didn't see it. And it's like, guys, holy shit.
Yeah.
We're not saying we hate hockey. We're saying the referee needs to do his or her fucking job.
Yeah.
So in this case, the analogy is, we don't hate capitalism, we don't hate free markets, but the ref's got to step in, dude.
Yeah.
The government's got to fucking step. That, I don't see any other way, because corporations aren't going to do the right thing, dude.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They're not going to do the right thing. That's the thesis of and I'm sorry to get political, but I'm going to here, the Reaganomics, the Reagan Republican thesis of, the Reagan Republican idea of corporations are going to do the right thing with all their fucking money is bunk, dude. It's bunk.
No, 100%.
It has been proven now for the past 10 years, and in the 2020s especially, it should be crystal clear by now that Team Corporation is not going to stop hitting Team Civilian with low blows.
Right. I mean, at this point, like you said, it's just this whole stuff is out of control.
They're not going to stop fighting dirty, dude.
Yeah.
The referee has got to stop in. It's the equivalent. I guess, again, I think I did this last time I talked about this. The better analogy really is like a UFC fight. You know, fighter, you got fighter A, you know, fighter corporation and fighter civilian, and fighter corporation keeps poking civilian in the eye, stabbing him in the nuts.
This is basically Ric Flair. It's like Ric Flair versus like
Exactly.
John Cena or something.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the referee, it's like, ref, hello.
Yeah.
He's not gonna stop. Step the fuck in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how, you know, and it's like, I don't know, at a certain point it's like, is it too late? I mean, because at a certain point a fighter gets hit with so many low blows and the fight is so huge that it's like, how do we even go back from this? We gotta, like, you know, get the ref we gotta, like, go to the freaking top level and change the rules and stuff. And then but when you do that, people cry socialism.
Right, exactly. But
that's the problem.
But it's funny though. Because that's basically then like the public itself being against its own best interest. You know,
exactly,
which is hilarious.
That's
the thing, dude. That's the division of it all. You know, it's the division of it all because it's like we're not united as a people to get that point across.
Well, yeah, that's it though, isn't it? I mean, the whole kind of the rich Republicans and the rich Republican politicians, it's kind of like, well, you know, it's like free markets, and then the, you know, middle class or you know, impoverished conservatives are like, yeah, bad, you know, yes, free markets. And it's like, but the problem is that they've strawmanned it to where any attempt to criticize the current system is like deemed socialism. Right. Oh, you're a socialist. It's like, no, I don't believe in socialism. We wouldn't have all the great, I love being able to order some shit on Amazon and have it here tomorrow.
Right.
You know, I love the ability to go and, you know, make a bunch of, like, I made a bunch of money in sales, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to sales, but I like having the freedom knowing that, hey, I have the freedom to go and go back to sales. And if I worked hard, I could make probably, you know, $150,000,
right,
$200,000, you know? But yeah, people, we got to fucking step in. What sucks is like Rage Against the Machine was making album upon album about this in the 90s, early 2000s, and it's like, you know, they're still screaming, "Wake up! Wake up!" But it's like, we're still not awake, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. But the problem is too, you kind of realize that, you know, all of, you know, Washington and everything, they're just in the back pockets of all these big corporations, Democrat, Republican. I mean, just look up the freaking, if you want to get pissed off, go do some research on the military-industrial complex.
Yep.
You know, just Boeing and Lockheed Martin. I mean, those guys are freaking, you know, warmongers, man. Just getting these politicians to spend more and more and more on their freaking contracts for weapons and fighter jets and tanks. I mean, it's unreal. It's unreal, man.
It's
who knows how deep that goes to,
exactly,
man?
Exactly. That's
who knows how deep that goes. I mean, what it's like, are all these wars just being started over like just so they can sell weapons?
Right,
you know?
Exactly. That's kind of the disheartening thing about this whole thing, isn't it? That it's just like, you know, it's like this like infinite, you know, just like rabbit hole of like where does this all end, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
But yeah,
very
I mean,
upsetting.
Again, the free market it's a game, and the referee has got to fucking step in, man. It's time. It's time for the referee to step in.
Yeah, I wish that, you know, I guess we'll see how things progress, you know. Let's look at this, I
Yeah.
guess, from a glass half full perspective. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, the thing that makes me mad too, going back to the streaming services too. I mean, this is a great example of just how the war on our wallets, right? Because we pay for all of these streaming services. I mean, dude, I have Netflix,
Right.
Hulu,
Right.
Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, HBO Max. I think that's all of them for now.
Yeah, I mean, there's also Paramount Plus. I don't know who the fuck's watching Paramount Plus.
Right, but exactly. So then you have these other ones that like let's just rattle them off: Showtime, Paramount Plus, Stars,
Yeah.
right? And here's the thing: though I have all of those except for those last four that I named, dude. When I go to find, when I Google search, when I want to watch a movie and I Google search, 9 times out of 10, the movie is not on any of those streaming services. I got to rent it. And it's like, if we're paying for all of these streaming services, it should be the opposite.
Right.
It should be the opposite, where like there's like 1 or 2 times out of 10
where it's not
like,
there.
Oh, this movie's not on anything.
Yeah. But it happens more often than not. It happens more often than not.
But it's the opposite. It's the opposite, where 1 or 2 times out of 10, I'm like, oh, nice, this movie's on Netflix right now. It's like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, man. Get some more damn movies. What are we paying you for? Yep. You got plenty of money to get the rights to more movies than you have. There. Yeah, in the words of Tupac Salamanca, I saw your wallet, Gramps. You got plenty in there.
But okay, in the interest of time, what do you say that we go on a recap? So unless there's something that you really want to talk about.
Well, I guess one thing I wanted to bring up is did you see that Tucker Carlson was on Joe Rogan's podcast?
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the podcast. I saw that he was there.
So, dude, he actually, this guy, what a nutcase, man. He I didn't see the whole thing, but the thing that's, I guess, making headlines or whatever is that he denied evolution.
What? Did Joe say anything to like counter that? I bet he did.
He did, but he went soft on him, because Joe's like, I get it. You have a guest.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't go soft on like Adam from Adam Ruins Everything.
Exactly. No, he went ham on that guy. Although I guess maybe from his perspective, he's like, I want to stop going ham on people.
I guess.
Yeah.
But he was going soft on Tucker Carlson, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit, because Joe Rogan, like he definitely, he's taught, he 100% acknowledges evolution. And he gave him like very minimal pushback, which was, and Tucker Carlson's argument was so stupid too. It was just like, he's like, I don't think there's any evidence for that. I think I think a God made us. And it's like, oh, so you think there's evidence for that, but you don't think there's evidence for evolution. But dude, then
I mean, that's pretty idiotic. It's kind of silly that Joe is just like, okay, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, and also he really devolved into like Alex Jones territory. He's talking about this. People listening, go watch the clip. I wanted to actually play some of it, but since I'm on my phone, that's a little difficult. But he out of left field, they're talking about evolution. Tucker Carlson's being an idiot as usual. It's not a new story, but out of left field, he starts talking about, well, there's also, I think it's pretty clear that there are, I don't know if they're aliens or supernatural beings, but they live in the ocean. Deep underground.
I think that guy's cooked, man.
And I'm like, holy shit, this is Alex Jones.
Yeah, I think he's cooked. At least with Alex Jones, it's like somebody dropped him in the head. He got dropped in the head. I was like, what is that guy's excuse?
But And I wonder though, because we touched on this today when we were talking about earlier when we were talking about Tate and Jordan Peterson.
Mhm.
I think all of this is just. I think it's a ruse, man. I don't know if these guys really believe like all of what they're saying. I think Tucker Carlson was just like, hey, there seems to be like some kind of market that Alex
For
Jones
this, that he
types
was, yeah, that he was
having.
inhabiting.
Yeah, it's like the market of just spouting off weird conspiratorial stuff with zero evidence given
Right,
about
right, right.
things that live among us, like interdimensional beings,
Yeah.
and I think he just was like, I think I'll just start tapping into that
Mm.
mining that ore a little bit.
Well, you'll get traction,
It's
I
the same
guess. Like
thing.
you'll get people
Yeah,
talking about it.
yeah, and it's the same thing with what was the Jordan Peterson quote we were talking about today that he said something stupid and
I,
we were making fun of it.
I don't remember. I know. I think we were mentioning. We were like referring to because we were talking about what is it, Tate? Yeah, in the Stavros and those guys, and how they mimicked him. You know.
Let me see. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. So okay, Andrew Tate said, quote, you can still hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Andrew Tate said, quote, he tweeted this, and I quote, sex is for making children. Any man who has sex with women because it feels good is gay. Oh my, oh my
That's
PP
hilarious.
feels good. This is great.
Yeah.
In fact, if you are 40 with less than 5 children, you're probably gay. All that feel good PP sex and hardly any genetic legacy. And it's like, you know, I think that I don't think that I don't think Andrew Tate believes that.
You think he's just like trying to create? Yeah, because that's what you and I were texting about. Because he's basically just it's just all publicity. Because they
Of
say
course.
crazy shit like this, and then people just talk about it, give it attention. It's circulating. People are memeing about it, but it's like, oh, meanwhile, the guy's just garnering, fucking publicity.
Right. And here's the thing too. Even his followers, I don't give Andrew Tate followers any credit, but I will give them this, that I think even his, because I've had online conversations with his followers, and I mean it's like talking to a freaking brick
Right,
wall, man.
right.
I mean I've met animals more intelligent than Andrew Tate followers, but I mean I will say that they do seem to have the cognitive ability, at least, to acknowledge when he says outlandish things
Right,
that he's being serious, and I
right.
think them would acknowledge that this isn't serious. Um, but it's sort of it again. It is like advertising where it's not necessarily what you see on the surface. There's something that it's doing to you beneath the surface that you're not aware of, and in
Mhm.
this case what it is it's getting people riled up, it's getting people talking about him, it's keeping the spotlight
Right,
on
exactly, exactly.
um even though he's about to go to jail for a long ass time.
So we can hope.
um but yeah, and I think, I don't think, here's the thing though, I think what people don't realize is that I think that's what like guys like Jordan Peterson do too.
Right.
uh, I don't think that when Jordan Peterson goes and talks about like, I think I might have mentioned this on a previous episode, but he talks about, he's like, oh well, there's 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 there are cave people who are doing cave paintings of
Yeah,
intercoiled snakes, and
yeah,
it looks like DNA,
yeah.
and
That is
they clearly had
100%
some
something that he said.
they clearly had some knowledge of human DNA in the Stone Age. And it's like, I don't. Does Jordan Peterson believe that? I don't
Right.
think so. And I think honestly, I think Joe Rogan kind of popularized that kind of stuff, where it's like this, like
Yeah. It's like,
curatorial, like, whoa,
right, right,
dude,
right,
trippy, this
right.
weird out of left field, like, oh, there's people drew pictures of dinosaurs in caves. They must have lived alongside dinosaurs and dinosaurs built the pyramids, bro.
Yeah.
Just that
Yeah.
that like bro science kind of
Yep.
stuff, the bro pseudoscience. I think Joe Rogan kind of popularized that, and I think guys like Jordan Peterson are running with it.
Just kind of riding that wave.
Yeah, because the other option is that Jordan Peterson's just completely off his rocker, which I that's also.
It's also possible. That's also possible.
Yeah, I think two things can be true at once. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, because like I think it's guys like a guy like Alex Jones, for example, will go on TV and like say all this stuff, but I think I've even heard that in private he's like, oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah, like fuck all that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that like behind the scenes he's a little more level headed.
Yeah, who knows? But ultimately, like we've said, it's like it's all just like all this fucking jumping through hoops publicity and then backtracking. But actually, but yeah,
actually.
Actually,
so the takeaway, I think the takeaway from all this is none of this shit is none of it's always like quite as it seems. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think
there's always some agenda that these guys have.
Yeah, people need to wake up to that. They proved it with Andrew Tate. He would always. I mean, for however long the guy was around before all the shit hit the fan for him, like 2 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just on and on and on. What color's your Bugatti? What color's your Bugatti? And then, oh, surprise, surprise! All of Andrew Tate's supercars are rented.
Right.
And it's like, who saw that coming?
Mm-hmm.
Coffeezilla, I think, did a hit piece on Ty Lopez where. His mansion, here in my mansion. Here
yeah, it was just like a rental. It was a rental place. Yeah,
it's rented. I mean, Dan Locke, I think it was. No, that Coffeezilla did a hit piece on Dan Locke where it was like he's another Ty Lopez type where he basically demonstrated that this mansion was a rental, and Dan Locke was trying to act like it was real. None of this stuff is quite as it seems. None of these people are playing characters, man. It's very. I think everything has kind of become professional wrestling in a weird way.
Yeah. Yeah. No. True. 100%. 100%. No, that makes that. I think that is a very pointed observation. I agree with that.
Thanks. Yeah, I think a good way to sum it all up too. I think Whitney Cummings, that comedian, was talking about on, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast, where she was talking about on Comedy Central how she roasted Trump or whatever.
Right.
When they roasted Trump, she was part of that. And then backstage, he kind of pulled her aside and was like, "That was great television."
Wow.
And I think that kind of sums it up where like this guy, Trump, he's an entertainer, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
because he knows like ultimately that didn't do anything. I mean, the guy ended up becoming the president anyway. Like it is all just ultimately that thing of just like, it's ultimately just publicity. And it does them better to be doing these things, keep their names out there, spin these things in different ways than it is just to like, I guess like vanish, for all these fucking megalomaniac guys.
Yeah, and I mean Andrew Tate, he probably knows. He probably knows he's going to jail. He probably knows he's fucked. But when he was in jail, being held before, like awaiting trial, he still had copywriters tweeting for him, putting out ads for and the wheel keeps spinning, man.
Right.
So. That's the power of media, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. We get into our recaps. Why don't you go ahead? I've been talking quite a bit.
I'll be brief. I've been on the same train. I've been on the Kanye train.
The
Ye train, dude. Which Kanye is a mess, but we're not gonna talk about him. following up the original trilogy, I listened to 808s and Heartbreak. The album that immediately followed after his mother's tragic and untimely departure. I mean, I to this day, I feel bad for that. I feel bad for him just based on that to this day. That was also, it was obviously a very tragic thing, and it's interesting because any person that you talked, any most people that I talk to that I talked about, do I talk to them about Kanye? They all say the same. Everybody says the same. You know, he's never been the same since his mom passed away. It's just everybody just always says that. Um, but I listened to 808s, the prototype in a way to the emo melodic hip hop that would follow as the years would come by. Um,
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty solid album. I think this is a solid album. Like if I were to rate this, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Um, I think songs like "Say You Will," the very first song, "Welcome to Heartbreak" with Kid Cudi, "Heartless," "Amazing" with Young Yeezy, and "Love Lockdown." I think all those songs like still are bangers. Back to back to back, the first five songs are all pretty good. I like "Paranoid" with Mr. Hudson too, but I don't like "Robots." I don't like "RoboCop." You know. I do like Streetlights. It's a very nice melodic song. Bad News is okay. See You in My Nightmares with Lil Wayne is surprisingly like really fun to listen to. Lil Wayne, like I said to you in person this past weekend, which everybody, if you're here listening to this, give our man, leave a happy birthday message for our man Jake, because it was his birthday this past few days. Um, but leave him a happy birthday message. He deserves it. And so we talked about we talked about "See You My Nightmares" with Lil Wayne, which I thought was like a better performance from him than Barry Bonds. And then "Call This Winter" and "Pinocchio Story." I thought the album was pretty good. It holds up pretty well. I still think to this day it holds up pretty well. It's like a testament of just like a very moody, very minimal, very progressive, very melodic hip hop. Um, and to this day I still think it's a good album. Um, but
What
yeah,
about Did you mention "Heartless"? Because that
yeah,
was like the big hit from.
yeah, yeah.
What do you think about that
I
song?
like I like Heartless. I like Heartless.
Yeah.
I do. Again, it's like such a departure. He's just singing the whole time. Um, and it's an iconic song. It's one of the first songs I ever heard from him.
Yeah.
Um,
Same.
no, I do. I like Heartless. I think it's a banger, dude. I think all those songs are bangers. Say You Will, Welcome to Heartbreak. I think these are all bangers. And I just love how minimal it is. How it's just like he's just looping these little sounds, And there's songs that have orchestration, like John Bryan, arranged like orchestrations for a lot of these songs. And you just hear like an orchestra in the background with just this very kind of like boom, boom, like heavy drums. Um, I enjoy it. It's a good one. And then I listened to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, the iconic 2010 revolution with the red cover and censored album art, and the incredibly, art house evoking long album title. This was the first one. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This was before any of the To Pimp a Butterflies, before any of that shit. This was the man, who went full on just art house on hip hop, and backed it up with an art film, that he himself directed, with a bunch of Michael Jackson tributes, beautiful cinematography. Um, and any top hip hop album list that you see, at least the ones that may not have been tainted by recent shenanigans from Mr. West, always had this album as either the top one greatest hip hop album or the second one behind The Pimp a Butterfly. So this album speaks for itself. I spoke with you about this. I think Dark Fantasy is a weak opening, and it leaves me with kind of a sour taste and a very grimaced expression,
Yeah.
because it opens with Nicki Minaj giving a very awkward, very dated performance where she's just like doing all these vocal inflections. It does not work. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. It doesn't work at all. Nicki
I
Minaj,
that it's like nails on a chalkboard. I can
gather
hear.
children. Oof. Oh,
Oh,
it's
oh,
horrible. It's horrible. It's
it's
horrendous.
so bad.
Her performance in Dark Fantasy, the very opening song, and her performance in the song Monster, alongside Jay-Z. Jay-Z doesn't get scot-free of this one. Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj are horrendous. Like Nicki Minaj is horrendous on those two songs, and Jay-Z is horrendous on Monster. Horrendous. He opens his. I mean, he was washed at this point in his career. Like he kind of rehabilitated himself with the 444 album, which is why I think he hasn't done anything since. Because he's like, oh, this is a high note that I can leave my career at. Because at this
Yeah,
point in 2010, the guy was washed, man. Like
yeah,
he opens this song by saying like. Pterodactyls. It's like vampires, aliens. God, it's like he just like opens the song by saying a bunch of like monsters, and it's like, dude,
yeah.
what are you doing? Like, why are you saying all this? Horrendous. Um, Regardless, in Dark Fantasy, the "Can We Get Much Higher" refrain is pretty good. I still like that. Gorgeous with Kid Cudi is great. Kid Cudi and Raekwon, that's a great, just straight up hip hop song. Power feels like a timeless song, honestly. All the Lights is fantastic. So Appalled with JC actually giving a good performance, and Pusha T on that song is great. Devil in a New Dress is one of the all-time greatest hip hop songs ever made. Top five
Oh,
greatest beats on a hip hop track ever, ever, ever. And the insane guitar solo at the very middle of that track that then follows into probably the greatest ever Rick Ross feature in existence.
yeah.
Top tier song, dude. Runaway is an incredible track. Again, Pusha T killing it. Incredibly artful track. Just that boom, this the second that you hear that, it's like I know what I'm here for. Hell of a Life's great. Blame Game with John Legend, and with that outro with Chris Rock at the end is iconic. Lost in the World, that Von Iver feature that he had in that song, great. It just kind of paints this whole picture of what he's trying to embody. And then Who Will Survive in America? That is literally just a Jill Scott Heron, just like sample of just him basically doing like spoken word poetry with Kanye backing it up at the end. It's incredible. Incredible album. Incredible album. Incredible album. I mean, incredible. Regardless of Nicki Minaj, almost ruining this album, it's still incredible. 9 out of 10. But yeah, Nicki Minaj. If I could go back, and tell Kanye like get it off the album, I would. And just to get it out, get out, get out. Because it's funny because people at the time the album came out before being like, oh, Nicki Minaj is the best verse on the album. No, she doesn't. Sucks. It's horrendous.
Yeah.
Grinds my gears.
Grinds
Regardless,
my gears.
I follow this up with Watch the Throne, baby.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask if that was your next one,
Yeah,
but I guess you got to it.
Watch the Throne,
Watch the Throne's so good. Holy shit.
2011, Jay-Z, Kanye West at the top. Kanye at this point in his career, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, and then 2 year break 2016. I believe that at this point in his career, he was in a creative peak. This is when I think he peaked creatively as an artist. Like 100%. Like this is what I believe. Again, Dark Fantasy was incredible. Just the artfulness and the thoughtfulness in that album. And then he just said, "Let's run it back." Me and Jay Z, the biggest names in hip hop at that point in time. In 2011, there was nobody bigger than these two guys. They said, "Let's do it," And they made one of the greatest collaborative albums ever in hip hop, man. No Church in the Wild with Frank Ocean, Lift Off with Beyonce, Brothers in Paris, Otis featuring Otis Redding, Gotta Have It, New Day with that Nina
New Days
Simone sample.
New Days.
Incredible. Dude, those are the first six songs on the album, and I think they're all great, man. Like I think they are all legitimately great. I know that some people are graded by like Brothers in Paris. I love Brothers in Paris. I love that song. It's so fun. It's so cool. Um,
Hey, kind of weird, Edward. When I'm typing in brothers in
it
Paris and
doesn't come up.
nothing comes up.
Nothing comes up.
Why would
Um,
that be?
but then you have a little bit. I think you have a little bit of like a decreasing quality with "That's My Bee," "Welcome to the Jungle," and "Who Gon' Stop Me." And the only reason why I say this is because Jay-Z gives lackluster performances. Like the weak link in this album, it's not Kanye, it's Jay-Z. And again, Kanye was in a creative peak at this point. All of the production, a new day when he's saying, "Me and the RZA connect." Him and RZA, they were connected, dude. Like the production in this shit is incredible. Like Jay-Z, he was just not at the top of his game. I think Kanye pulled the best out of him in some instances, but it was not like, it was not enough. And sometimes it was just not enough. Like and JC just gave really poor performances. But Murder to Excellence is incredible. Made in America with Frank Ocean, and his chorus. Because ultimately this album is really just about excellence, like African American excellence, trying to empower people. A lot of the lyrics in this album are really all just about empowering. It's like saying to people listening, like, man, we got this, from the very beginning. Again, no church in the wild, it's like this painting this picture of these people, again, African American folks in this country, and the trials and tribulations that they've had to, go through, various mentions of Martin Luther King and a lot of iconic like African American figures. This is really just like a really empowering album. Again, made in America, and then it closes with "Why I Love You" with Mr. Hudson, which I think is a really underrated song. It's just 12 songs, this album. And I really do think I think "Why I Love You" is great, man. And I think it's really underrated. Not a lot of people give that song like mention. Obviously, "Illest Motherfucker Alive," "Ham," and "Prime Time," those are just and "The Joy" with Curtis Mayfield. Those are all just bonus tracks, but they're pretty good. "Ham's" not very good, but the other ones are okay. But again, great album. I would give this an 8 out of 10 any day. I really do think this has aged really well, and Kanye is just killing it every single time. And then just to wrap my weekly recap and my part two of this Kanye retrospective, I listened to "Cruel Summer," Kanye West presents Good Music, "Cruel Summer," 2012, the year before Yeezus. I mean, dude, think about this. Like, this is like insane run of quality. 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. Um, this
Yeah.
was the Posse album. This was everybody in Good Music, which at the time was stacked, man. Because at the time it was Kanye, Pusha T, Kid Cudi was co-signed with Good Music. What's his name? I haven't. John Legend, Tiana Taylor, Big Sean, Two Chains, like all of these people were all common. Who else is in here? Sci-Hi the Prince. All these guys, they were just
Chief
all
Keef.
Chief Keef. Yeah, Chief Keef's in here too. They were all just in Good Music, and they all got together and they all made an album. I love this album. This is such an underrated album. I remember me and Aiden Milroy listened to this album front to back a couple of years ago, driving back from Chicago to Philadelphia, not Philadelphia to Pennsylvania, and we were both just like, "This is incredible." I
Yeah,
told him
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Dude, this is," we were both just like, "This is incredible. This is underrated." "To the World" with Tiana Taylor, featuring, funnily enough, R. Kelly's in this too. Great. "Click" with Jay-Z, Big Sean, and Kanye West. It's such a great little track. You feel bad for Big Sean. I feel bad for Big Sean in this album. Because even though Big Sean doesn't have the best lyrics, he has a good flow and he's a good guy. So you feel bad knowing that, Kanye disowned him after the fact. But "Click's" a pretty good song. "Mercy" is such a dope track. I just
The
love this
class.
song. To this day, it's a classic. Kanye, Big Sean, Pusha T, Two Chainz, classic. Um,
Mercy's like almost a horrorcore
it
song.
is almost a horrorcore song. It is almost. And then "New God Flow," Ghostface Killer, Pusha T, Kanye West, incredible song. "New God Flow." "The Morning" with Raekwon, Pusha T again, Common, Two Chainz. Dude, like every single song. "Cold," weirdly featuring DJ Khaled. He just has that DJ Khaled mention. Maybe he did the beat, I don't know. But Kanye's great in that "Cold" song. Higher with the Dream and Pusha T. Pusha T was just killing every track. Every track Pusha T is in this album is a 10 out of 10 performance. Sin City, again, Sin City is great. And you know who's featured in Sin City? You know who's doing the fucking production, and you know who's doing the chorus in Sin City and a little bit of a verse? You know who? Travis Scott in 2012.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
It's awesome, dude. The one with 2 Chainz. Creepers.
Travis Scott became kind of like a Cudi Jr. too.
He did.
It was like he helped out with a couple of like Yeezus.
Yeezus and this album. Yeah.
The same way that Cudi helped out with 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
But Creepers, the Kid Cudi, the one Kid Cudi, because Kid Cudi is featured in a lot of the songs here, but there's a song here, Creepers, song number 10, that is just Kid Cudi. It's just him. And that's an outstanding, just solo Kid Cudi song. Outstanding. I've always loved that song. Always loved that song. Bliss with John Legend and Tana Taylor is great. And then the album closes with Don't Like. Kanye West, Chief Keef, Big Sean, Pusha T. Great song. Again, say what?
Jadakiss too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Jadakiss, that's right. So again, dude, I've had so much fun listening to these albums. I've had so much fun. It's so nostalgic, and I love all these tracks, just singing along to them. To recap that's a 9 out of 10, for Dark Fantasy, an 8 out of 10 for Watch the Throne, and an 8 out of 10 for Cruel Summer. And then the next albums should be, and also a 7 out of 10 for 808s. The next album should be Yeezus, and one that I love, that is my favorite Kanye West album, The Life of Pablo. And I will see if that changes from here to there. But that's it for my recap.
Nice, man. No, you give Kanye a lot of good. I got
a lot of good rep.
Well, yeah, like you're very you're a good, like, you're a solid student of his music, you know, like you definitely inspire me to like want to go back and re-listen to his projects. And you definitely, when you're reviewing these albums, you kind of capture just like how impactful they were.
Yeah,
too. Dude. Yeah. So awesome reviews.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my recap is pretty quick. I mean, basically just, watched a couple movies over the weekend. I watched The Collector for the first time.
That's right.
Which I mentioned to you. So 2009. It's basically, it kind of comes from the whole, it's like on the back end, I guess, of the whole like Saw Hostel, like torture porn craze of the 2000s. I gotta say, this one, like, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was like, the plot is great. The plot, which I described to you, is basically this guy he's an ex-con, I believe, and he's working as a contractor for this wealthy family. And his wife owes money to these loan sharks, and he's got like a ticking time clock, so to help her pay them back. So he basically decides to rob his wealthy employers. They have a safe filled with like diamonds or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when he goes that night to rob them, he realizes that like he goes in, he goes to rob them, and then there seems to be someone else creeping through the house, and he realizes that there's basically some kind of masked killer in the house. And now he can't leave because now there's like traps all over the house, and there's like while he was in the house, the killer put like these huge locks on the doors and stuff, barred the windows. So he's in it now, and they laid out very clearly kind of what his internal conflict is, where it's like, okay, it's between robbing the family or saving the family, because they're not dead yet. They're like tied up and stuff. And the little girl,
like you said, very similar to it's like a combination of like something with like what is it, that Fincher movie,
Panic Room,
similar
to Panic Room and Don't Breathe. It's in the same scene kind of, and this was in the middle of those two. So this was before Don't Breathe, but after Panic Room. What I'll say is, because like I said, the mom and dad are tied up. The little girl is basically, she's nowhere to be found. She's somewhere in the house, and
Hmm.
it's like a big mansion. And so the killer's kind of trying to find her, and so it becomes this whole thing of like, it's an internal conflict: rob the family versus save the family, right? And I dug that at first. They don't really they don't utilize that enough, though. That's kind of where the film fell flat for me, where he decides very quickly that he's gonna, you know, save the family. So there's not much like, there just wasn't enough of like,
An internal struggle for him.
yeah, it's like the character arc was like snap of your fingers, like quick, where it's like, it should more be, it should be more of like, okay, this guy is pretty hell bent on just getting the hell out of this house with the diamonds, and then kind of has a change of heart. But they he has a change of heart like almost instantly, so it takes away from that, because again, internal conflict and, thereby philosophical conflict is what creates suspense in stories, right?
Right.
Because that's what wondering, um what is the character going to do next. Like that's really what it is, internal, because all the internal conflict is basically the character struggling themselves with the philosophical conflict. So they're
Right.
almost the same thing. Um, the philosophical conflict is just more of the greater theme of the story, plays into the greater theme of the story, but then the internal conflict is the character's own struggle with the philosophical conflict, essentially. That's my take on it. And that is what makes movies, when a movie's like, oh, I had to know what happened next. Generally, it's because I don't know what the right thing to do here is, or
Right.
I know what the thing to do is, but I want to see if the character is gonna what they're gonna decide to do. So that was an issue that I had, and then also just, like I said, it's got that Saw style of filmmaking that's just obnoxious.
Right.
Uh, I've seen clips from some of those Saw sequels. Like, dude, I don't know how people watch some of
No,
those.
dude, they become
That camera,
unwatchable. They become unwatchable.
well, yeah, like the camera, just the way it like swirls around, and there's like these rapid jump cuts, and stuff,
Yeah,
and
no, they become
make
unwatchable.
it, yeah, they're trying to make it edgy, and it just all, and they kind of, it wasn't quite as bad in this movie, but it was still kind of bad. There was a lot of great camera work where he kind of copied Panic Room a little bit with the way the camera sort of transcends the house and gives you like, you know, kind of travels through walls and through the ceiling and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, there were also, I mean, there's a moment where it's like, okay, like the main character's chained up and he's about to get tortured by this sick freak, and the camera is like, the cameraman is having a seizure. And
Okay.
it's like, holy shit, like,
Yeah.
can I just, I mean, I never thought I'd say this, but can I just watch this guy get tortured, like,
Yeah.
without you moving the camera?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and also it has, I mean, there's a scene like in the basement where there's like literal, like the killer has set up these lights and they're actually green lights. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, the killer knows he's in a
He
Saw
said his
movie.
is in the song movie. He knows the aesthetic here. He knows what's supposed to be
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. It's like the killer was like, let me make this look like a Saw movie. So mixed bag, overall 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
It didn't care for the ending either. Um, but anyway, and then I watched, for the first time, Thank You for Smoking,
Mm.
with Aaron Eckhart, and I thought it was fine, like 6 out of 10. Um, I will say though that might change. I do have to rewatch the ending because I was getting really tired. I was kind of like starting to fade in and out. I started
Mm.
the movie late on like a weeknight.
Mm.
So I don't know, maybe I can't really even give it a 6 out of 10, but I saw like 90% of the movie full awake. And
Yeah.
I good. Like the character work was great. A lot of the dialogue was good. It had a very similar feel to like The Founder, which
Hmm.
our former professor made that movie with Michael Keaton, the
Shouts
McDonald's
out,
movie.
dude.
Yeah, shout out to Don Hanfield. Yeah, so it had a similar feel to that, or like The Informant, It had a similar
I've seen The
feel to that.
Informant. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a similar feel to those movies. Kind of like these, um, just kind of corporate, business movies, but
Hmm.
with like a comedic edge that's maybe a little too silly at times,
Hmm.
though. Um, but yeah. And then that's all for film. As far as music goes, I did want to just mention that I listened to top to bottom 3 6 Mafia's first album,
That sounds
Mystic
dope, dude. That's a dope
Mystic
one.
Styles.
Yeah.
Dude, that album rules. I mean that's like a freaking 9 out of 10 rap album.
Hmm.
Best probably. I mean, dude, horrorcore. No one does horrorcore
Like
like
three
3 6
six.
Mafia,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they actually got.
I added that horrorcore playlist that you sent me.
Yeah, because horrorcore. I was telling Jack this. I mean, horrorcore. Besides like early Tyler the Creator albums and like some Eminem songs here and there, I never really got into that genre when I was younger. But now, 3 6 Mafia got me kind of on a kick, so I made a playlist with like, some Tech Nines on there.
There's some
Got
good.
some.
There's some good 21 Savage songs that could go in there.
That's true. Yeah, he does have a couple. Yeah, I have some Fredo Santana. Fredo Santana's got some horrorcore songs.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I got a bunch of guys on there. I got, of course, like a lot of 3 6 Mafias on there. There's one artist that I really like from the '90s. Oh, I got Flatliners on there. That's a pretty good horrorcore group. Um, what's that guy's name? Let me see. Brother Lynch Hung. Have you ever heard of this guy?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Go, dude. I would listen to. I've got a bunch of his songs on that playlist I sent you. He has an album called "Season of the Sickness," the
Yeah.
Resurrection, and that's like a staple of
I
horrorcore.
feel like DMX could go in there too.
Yeah, I think so. But this album, "Season of the Sickness,"
Yeah.
a great album. I mean, it's very reminiscent of 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs and Harmony in terms of style.
Yeah.
Just that triple time flow, that's like just ear candy, Um, and the production is outstanding on this album. I mean, just great '90s hip hop. It's truly incredible.
What's the name
I
of the
will
3
see
6 Mafia album that you listened to again? The first album, right?
Mystic Styles,
Mystic
yeah.
Stylez.
Oh, dude, I would listen to that pronto. But yeah, I would. The only thing I struggled with, not on Mystic Styles, they did fine with their content, but the content on Season of the Sickness does get a bit much. I mean, I'll just put it this way: just imagine the worst violent crime you can possibly imagine. Get it
Mm-hmm.
in your.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about that. He
Yeah,
rap.
that's something that I had an issue with too. With like, I mean, all the Eminem songs, where it was also kind of shit like that.
Oh, this Season of the Sickness is worse. He says worse things than Eminem ever said. I mean, it's like truly shocking stuff. But other than that, I mean, it's like outstanding
Yeah,
work. So yeah, 3 6 Mafia got on a bit of a horrorcore kick this past week, which,
nice, dude.
and I'm trying to build up this playlist too because I would like to. I've been meaning to for the past few years, but like when late September and October roll around, I always kind of wanted to have a horrorcore playlist to bump here and there, but especially like in the car at night, driving around in October on
Hmm.
like a cold autumn evening, But I just never had enough horrorcore content, so I did more of a deep dive this past week.
Yeah.
But that's it, man. That's my recap.
Well, I think that's a good transition for us talking about horrorcore, um, because we're going, folks. This is time for us for the movie of the week. You know the name of it by the title. What is this, like 74, 84? What year did this come out?
1974, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to introduce the movie?
Yeah, so we watched this past week. We watched Phase 4 from
Mm-hmm.
1974. It is directed by Saul Bass
Mm-hmm.
or Saul Bass. Um,
Soul ass.
Saul Ass, man. Saul, um, I believe it was his only film. He was like an acclaimed photographer.
Yeah. Oh,
I
I can
believe
see that. I can see that in the movie for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's basically it's a killer ant movie.
Mhm.
However, the ants are not giant; they're normal
They're
size,
normal size ants.
and it's more of a hard sci-fi thing.
It
So it's
is.
not. They
Yeah.
don't play it like a B movie. This is very much a hard science fiction film.
Hmm.
Uh, the plot essentially: Arizona ants mock the food chain on their way to a desert lab to get two scientists and a woman. What did you think about this movie, man?
I like this movie, man. I am actually surprised to say that because I was like, before I started watching it, I was like, this is gonna be some BS movie. I said, this is gonna be some BS movie with big ass ants killing people. I was like, I know it. And
Yeah,
then I started watching it, and I was like, oh, like the opening sequence is very captivating in terms of its visuals, the presentation. This like images of like these kind of like what, like suns overlapping or like um
some kind of
some
eclipse.
kind of
Yeah,
eclipse, and then just seeing like this extreme close-up photography of the ants was very uncomfortable for me. I'm not a fan of that.
no.
um but it set the
I was
mood.
itchy while watching this movie.
No, I was, dude, but it set the mood, and it kind of established the tone of the film perfectly. I was kind of wowed by the photography of this film, like cinematography wise. Like this is very like well put together. A lot of very kind of like aesthetically pleasing images, a lot of very symmetrical images, and a lot of shots that were just like so crisp. Like that film was so crisp. It's so like purposefully put together. I liked the movie, man. Like I said, despite my uncomfortability with the aunts, like I liked the movie, and I would go as far as to say that like I think two-thirds of this movie I thought were just great, like blank,
Yeah.
just great, because I really liked the introduction of the characters. I really liked Hubs being just kind of like this like mad scientist kind of guy, and they hint at it really well, with like when they tell this family like, hey, you guys gotta go, and they don't go. And then these ants are like termites. They're just out of control, eating everything. Just like very, I don't know. I'm not sure what the implication was. You can correct me. I don't know if it was that they had like mutated or if they were like alien ants. I didn't get that.
I
But
think they just I think it was kind of like the movie The Birds,
yeah,
essentially, where they kind of just gained a greater, they kind of advanced
yeah,
into their civilization the same
yeah,
way humans advanced from like Stone Age to Bronze
yeah,
Age.
yeah.
The ants sort of advanced in
Yeah,
theirs.
and it was fascinating, how they went about this. I liked it felt like really iconic, like almost photography. These guys in this like hard suits and their like fucking round like sphere thing that they were in, this like metal thing. Like it was all so like science fiction, like science fictiony, like in a really good way, like in a really kind of like retro, like cool way. Um, and just those guys kept flipping. They were just like flipping things and turning, the wheels. And I was like, these guys. I was like, they just told him like, go flip some shit. We'll film you flipping and flipping some shit
Yeah,
up and down. Like at some point, he flipped like 10 things up and then put like two back down. I was like, this guy just. They would just told him like, go flip some shit.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
The all those insert shots, it just felt very like Star Trek-y or
for sure.
Godzilla. Like Godzilla had a phase like this in the
Yeah,
late 80s with the Star Trek craze, where it
yeah.
was like they had a movie called Invasion Astro Monster, where they had like people. It was all shots like that, flipping switches, things buzzing and whirring to
Yeah.
life. But it was this,
And,
yeah,
and it's
like
funny
just
though, because I dig it. I dig kind of like minutia and like industrial complex kind of shit, like industrial things. Like I dig like just shots of like cranes moving and like very minute shots of like people tweaking with technology or doing things like that. I really like stuff like that. It actually intrigues me, and I was like it was like tickling my brain in that sense. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is very well shot, very nice put together. Um, and I half liked the sequence with like when the house caught on fire with the ants. When the ants were attacking the barn, like the farmhouse, I kind of liked it a little bit, and a little bit I didn't like it because it felt like they had a lot of constraints, and like they had to shoot it like immediately, so
Yeah.
it kind of felt a little bit thrown together. I got the idea that they were going for. I got the message. Like, I think this is what they were going for. That kind of felt sloppy though. But to keep going with positives, I really liked everything that the movie did. Like when those people crashed outside, that sequence where they were throwing that foam at the ant, like at the ants and at the people outside. I thought that sequence was great. Just like such
Yeah.
a great sequence, evocative of like that Spider-Man scene with the Sandman somehow. Like
Yeah.
it was just like a really great sequence, you know. And then just how kind of like whatever Hubs was about the fact that those people had died, and how
Yeah.
I forget the name of the other guy, but he's like Hubs, like the people have died, you know. And he's just like, oh, you know, tragic. We told them to leave. I don't know why they didn't leave. You know, we told them,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my god, dude. But yeah, after that, after they went in and they took the girl in, and then the girl like like attacked the ant and destroyed their shit, and Hubs got like like stung, like bitten by one of the ants. After that, I kind of felt like the movie kind of fell off a little bit, where then it kind of just became this battle movie of just them being stuck in there and having this like smartness war against the ants, which is kind of kooky if you think about it. Like, oh, you know, they're fighting the ants. The ants are giving them like intelligence tests, you know, and the ants are stronger than the fucking what do you call those? Those
Man,
little. Say what?
mantises.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just kind of like, you know, this is kooky and silly. I still like those shots. I like the shot of the mantis like preying on the ant. I still liked those things, but I was just like, oh, this is kind of kooky, you know. And it's like, oh, they when he said like, how did they know that we needed the air conditioner? And it's like, oh my God, these are ants, you know. So there's an element of that I thought was kind of silly, you know, and kind of like you just can't help but laugh and be like, this is really silly, you know. And then I didn't like the ending of the movie. I thought the ending of the movie was silly as fuck. Like I literally when the movie ended, I literally just wrote super WTF ending. I was like, what? You know?
With the ending, I got what they were going for. It felt really rushed because, like,
Yeah.
when he left the base and starts walking around in the desert,
Mhm.
I checked like the time, and I
It
was
was
like,
like a
oh
couple minutes left.
yeah, I was like, there's like 3 minutes left. What the hell's
Mm.
gonna happen? And that added to the rushed feeling of the ending, where it felt like they just ran out of time, and they were like,
Mm.
all right, fuck, gotta end this. Um, they could have done like they could have made I think if they made the ending sequence just longer, like when he falls down in there, they just draw it out
It was just too
more and like
rushed. It was just too
they
rushed.
stretched the rubber band more, you know what I mean? And they like drew it out more,
Mhm.
had like, you know, more mystery there, and it's like built it up more. That would have been a much cooler ending. The ending in theory I didn't mind. I thought that was kind of cool how it's like, oh well, they're, you know, just like we breed lab rats, they're gonna breed a new, you know, like breed these people for something, you know. And
Yeah,
I
because
thought that
it's like oh the ants. It's the ants world and now I was just like I was just kind of off put by the whole idea. I was like, this is ridiculous, you know. I was like, this is ridiculous, and like you said, it just felt like it was too quick. And I just also felt like the relationship that he had with the girl was just kind of off putting, where it was just like this is a really old guy. The way that they spoke about her is just as she was like 14 or something. I mean, she was a really young girl too. And then it's just like this is the implication, you know, and I was like, this is fucking idiotic. Like I really I did not vibe with the ending. I was just like, this is
yeah,
stupid. He didn't have any chemistry with that girl, and even despite even beyond that, again, it was just kind of really questionable that decision.
yeah, their relationship was weird because it was like the whole movie, I'm like, how old is this girl supposed to be? Because he's like giving her the eyes, but then
Yeah,
she's my grandma, maybe
exactly.
is, you know, and it's like, how
Yeah,
old? I mean, it's like, dude, you might want to check this girl's ID.
yeah, not old enough. I don't think so.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, oh, so one thing to keep going on positives though, like the soundtrack was freaking
The
amazing.
second was pretty good. Yeah.
I definitely, because I told you how I discovered this movie was after we watched Beyond the Black Rainbow. And I
That's
did
right.
some research on that. And he cited this as like the tone and feel that he was going for,
Hmm.
or like the feeling from this movie is what he was from Phase 4 was what that guy was going for in Beyond the Black Rainbow. And I totally felt that with like the music and just the style of filmmaking. I could totally that he totally like took that and heightened it. Especially with his use of light in Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Yeah.
Was very similar to their use of light in this movie with like the sun reflecting off those rocks. Which, before I forget, super ironic thought, and I don't know if this is what they were going for with that, but I thought it was very ironic that the ants were frying them with sunlight, considering that that's how people kill ants. Is like,
yeah, that was interesting for sure.
I that was probably done on purpose, I bet. But yeah, I really loved the sequences with the ants were cool too. How they would like kind of take a minute to go back to the ants.
Yeah, I found that fascinating how they achieved that, because I was like, oh, the ants are like, it was like they're doing like this little funeral, like mourning for the other ants. I was like, oh, this is cool, it's like giving them character and like just kind of giving them these little moments.
And then at the beginning, they had like a small council meeting and stuff where it was like they're in a circle, and those like winged ants that looked like wasps, those were really creepy. Like how they would silently kind of like glare down at the worker ants, and the worker ants would sort of like report to them in a way. That was cool, man. It was really, I mean, and how they got some of these shots is incredible. I mean,
it is incredible. I kept thinking to myself, like, how did they do this? I was like, how did they achieve this?
Well, the shot with the mantis, dude, like, they must have tried for hours because they had to get the ant. They had to both get an ant chewing on this shit and then have a mantis eat it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if maybe there was some dynamation that they worked in there.
I thought about it, but it was also just like so specific,
Yeah. They had to get these bugs to do some pretty specific things, and pretty amazing. Those were some well-trained ants. No,
right?
and yeah, dude. Just as someone who I don't like bugs, the whole concept of these ants like gaining, intelligence and just being like, oh, there's one loose in the lab. Get it. Like just that whole. It just gave me that feeling of that feeling when you just have like a roach in the house and you're like, oh my God, where'd it go? And you're trying to kill it, and it's like, did I get it? Oh no, it's still alive. Just, it gave me that feeling where it was just like, oh, fuck, it was very effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an unsung film. Just the craft that went into this. And just the creativity of being like, hey, let's do because I mean, dude, by this time in the 70s, there had been so many through the 50s, especially, there had been so many like killer bug movies. And they were all just B movies, and to take that and say, let's do an A-grade hard science fiction film. And do it effectively with I loved and just do it effectively, was very impressive.
Yeah.
And I loved just the geometry and stuff of the movie too, with those monoliths that the ants built, and then like the ants sort of sending back like geometric messages to them, I loved that shit, man. That was really cool. Just a lot of great hard science fiction stuff in this film. Which, honestly, man, like the ending, like whatever, it barely bothered me, man. I thought this was great. And this is unsung, dude. I mean, this movie is.
It is unsung for sure. I still have my gripes. Like I don't think I can get over that with like how quickly the movie ended and how kind of silly I thought it was. But this is definitely an underrated movie. I like 100%, dude. I was pleasantly surprised. I was coming into this movie like with my hater cap on.
I tried to prime you too, man. I tried to tell you like it's not a B movie. I mean, it's like, well, because I hadn't seen it, but I just knew I knew at least what the filmmakers were going to be going for from seeing trailers and hearing what like reading what other people had said about the movie, like because I had meant for us to watch this like when we first started this podcast, and I
Mhm.
just it just kept falling by the wayside. But
Yeah.
dude, I mean, I've never once heard anybody talk about this movie.
No, neither have
And
I. Neither have I.
none of our friends on Letterboxd have seen this. A couple have it in their watch list, but yeah, maybe we can maybe now our at least our circle will
Yeah. Maybe
be
maybe
enticed to
we'll
watch it.
maybe this will motivate some people. Maybe we'll see some people have put it on their watch to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought this movie was very just inspiring too as a creative, like walking away from it just being like, man, like I love art.
Yeah.
Just walking away from this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, man, what do you give it?
I am in between. I'm in between a 6 and a 7, honestly. I think this is a good movie. I don't think it's a bad movie at all whatsoever. Like I said to you, the first hour of this movie, hour and 10 minutes, I was just in it, you know. And
Mhm.
then for me, it honestly did get a little bit goofy, you know. Like in my notes, I was just like, it's like the hands like giving them a test, you know. Um, so, you know, there's a part of me that just kind of felt that way. Again, I thought the ending was just too rushed, you know, but I think this is a clever movie, a really well put together movie, like technically sound in terms of like all of its technical elements, cinematography, presentation, sound, like you said, like the music of this movie and also the sound design of this film. Um, and just some narrative issues for me ultimately. That's really it. But yeah, I'm sitting at like a 6, 7. I'm not sure. At some point, I'll rate it on Letterboxd. I think I haven't even put Death Proof on Letterboxd yet, but I'll rate it, and it'll either be one of those two things. Probably a 6 though.
Yeah, I give this movie a strong 8, man.
Nice, dude.
I thought it was great.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I made more movies, dude.
Yeah, right? Mr. Ass, Mr. Soul Ass.
But it looks like he's got maybe some short films when I looked at his letterbox. So I don't know. Maybe I'll check those out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big short film guy, honestly.
Yeah, not me either. It really is like few and far between. At this point, most 90% of the short films I've ever saw were just in Dale Pollock's class.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got for us next week, man?
Next week, I think this kind of ties together with some of the conversations that we had today, and maybe so we can explore the timelessness of these kinds of topics. I think you haven't seen this movie. For me, this will be a rewatch. I think maybe even my first ever rewatch on the podcast. It happened on season 2, episode 40 something, but this is technically the 78th recording that we've done. Um, this is a Phase 4 episode, my first ever rewatch, dude. I'm pretty sure this is the first ever one. We're gonna watch.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first ever rewatch that I've done on the podcast. We're gonna
All
watch
right.
the Francis Ford Coppola movie, The Conversation.
Oh man, oh dude, I've been wanting to see this movie forever.
Yeah, I felt like this would be a good one to break that streak with because I've wanted to rewatch that movie. I know you haven't seen it. It's really short. It's
Yeah,
an hour and a half movie. And again, I think it's really like contemporary. But
yeah,
we'll talk about it.
yeah. Let's do it, man. Just like Death Proof, this one just was sitting at the bottom of my watch list
Yeah,
forever.
that's it, man. I want to kind of just get rid of those movies. I've been
Yeah,
just thinking like I just want to get rid of all those movies that it's like that one movie in the corner that it's like, oh fucking that movie, this movie, you know.
yeah, I know.
Just watch those like little movies. You know, again, that's the same thing that I did with Incendies. It's just like I just want to get rid of the movie that I haven't seen in these people's filmography.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's like shit or get off the pot,
Yeah.
right? Well, sounds good, dude. Well, everybody, that's it. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, next time, people. See ya. Bye.